Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream here at my YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here. Tonight's live stream is going to be a little bit different. I have always shied away from using paste during a live stream because of the amount of time it takes to dry. But I'm hoping tonight that we can make it work because we're going to do a Q&A while the paste dries. So I've done a little prep work so that we can get the layering of all the paste going. And then we'll actually do the layering of the paste, and then we'll have to wait for it to dry. We'll do what we can in the meantime, but after we run out of things to do to prep the rest of the card, we will have to wait for the paste to dry. And for that, I thought it would be fun to do a Q&A. So tonight's kind of idea came about when I was like, you know what, I wonder if you could layer different colors of paste on top of each other. I'm sure someone's tried this before. I'm sure it's not a new thing, but I thought I would go ahead and try it tonight. So I'm using some relief paste from Altenew. To be honest, it's because it's one of the only pastes I have that is not dried out. That tells me I need to be using paste more often. So, but I did do kind of like a trial run of this to try to figure out if it would work, and it kind of did. Let me grab it. This was a very rough draft, but I layered a purple paste and then a gold paste on top. So this is actually amethyst. And then I layered brass on top. And I was thinking the reason why this sort of works is because in particular, my layered lattice stencils, the second layer goes completely over the first layer. So all the purple was down, and then the gold goes all over the top of the purple. So it's like everything that's exposed is one layer. So I thought it might work. I don't know. It looks pretty cool. You can see that there's a little bit of a dimension to it. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's get going on this other one. I have done the first layer. This is the first layer that I did. And I used my layered lattice stencil pack. So in this stencil pack, you have 6 stencils, and there's 3 designs and they're in pairs. So these 2 go together to create a pattern. And then these 2 go together to create a pattern, and they're not lining up. Here we go. Turn those around. Here we go. Now they line up. And this is the one that I used for this pattern right here, right? So I used that one for it. And then for this one, I used these 2 stencils. Well, the only one of them so far. So I used this one, the one that has more openings in it. That's what I did for this first layer of the paste. Let me zoom out here. So, and I've let it dry. I don't think it's like fully dry, but it's very close. I can tell. I was hitting it with my heat tool quite a bit. The thing that's interesting about the Altenew relief paste is they almost turn plastic. They're very smooth, very shiny. They have a very kind of rubbery plastic feel when they're dry. So just keep that in mind for when you do, whenever you use the paste. Okay. So let's do this second layer of paste. This first one was done with Beryl. And then I'm going to layer a dark blue Galactic skies over top. Won't that be really pretty? So when I did this one, it is on powder cardstock. So it's on a pale blue cardstock. I'm doing kind of like a tone on tone thing with a pale blue, a little bit more of a darker kind of aqua, and then a much darker blue. So that is where we're going tonight. See, it doesn't want to stick to the grip mat, so this might be a little bit of a challenge. All right, and I've got to oh no, I can't see where it is. Okay, I can sort of see it now. It's very subtle, but I'm hoping that sticking the stencil down will hold it down. Okay. Yeah, I think that's lined up pretty well. I'm kind of amazed that it lined up so well. All right, I am using, hold on. Let me move this. There we go. Much better. Okay, So again, I'm using Galactic Skies Relief Paste from Altenew. It's Shimmer Relief Paste. And I'm using a palette knife that has a really long edge. Now, Simon Hurley actually has like a big, I don't even know what he calls it. It's like a huge square piece of plastic that you can like spread across. That would probably work even better than this. I have that. It has wandered away. I'm not sure where it's at. I did a quick search in my craft room and I couldn't find it. So we're just using this old palette knife. I also have a black one from Tim Holtz. I have that linked down in the video description, but okay. So I'm going to just put this directly on top, like frosting a cake. I want to make sure I get enough of this relief paste to coat every single section. So it's going to go off onto my grip mat a little bit, getting it all over my hand. Okay, I want to make sure there's no areas without this paste. And then I'm just kind of scraping it because I want to get the most even coverage possible. Okay. Close up my relief paste. If I can get the lid on correctly. There we go. All right, close it up tight. I'm going to take me off screen because I've got to go clean all this stuff in a moment here. But first, I'm going to peel up the stencil. Oh, this is even better than I thought. Oh, that looks so cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, before I go take care of this, I'm going to set that aside up here. I just need to peel up the cardstock without getting it all over myself, which could be tricky. Okay, do you guys see this? It's really cool looking. All right, I'm going to set this aside to dry. I want to give it like a good 10 to 15 minutes just to dry on its own. And then I'm going to come back and with my heat tool, very like dispersed heat, I'm going to try to dry it and like help it along. So I'm actually going to set this aside off camera for the greeting on the card tonight. I thought it would be really fun. We're going to do kind of a layered greeting, not layered, but you know, stacked, which is not unusual. I love a good stacked greeting. I'm going to be using the Here For You dies. And I realized I have never used this on my channel. I've like showed you the die set. I believe it came out in November, but I've never used it. So here we are. I took the It Will Be Okay sentiment and I cut out the shadow part. Let's see. There we go. That's what it will be. I think. No. What is it doing? Why can I not figure out? Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. All right. And then I cut out the words once out of just regular cardstock and then 3 times out of cardstock that has Altenew adhesive sheet on the back. You guys see that? So they're kind of like stickers. It's going to make it super easy to layer. So I'm first going to adhere the plain letters down. I guess I could have made these stickers too. But at the time, I hadn't decided if I was going to have them have it adhered onto a shadow layer or if it was going to go directly onto the card itself. So that's why I didn't use adhesive sheets on for this one. All right, so just a little bit of glue. And then just get that in the right spot. I love like putting stacked die cut words on top of vellum because it gives you somewhere to put the adhesive on the back of the vellum. Because you can just put it on the back, like where the white die cut is. Hold on, I want to like slide this down a little bit. There we go. That's lined up a little better now. So then I have all of these that are stickers. So I can turn them over, and I'm going to take the release paper off the back. If I can get it to come off. There we go. And then I can just really easily layer it right on top. And I don't have any glue that I have to work with. I don't always use full sheet adhesive to stack things. A lot of times I just use glue. But I really do love the really clean look of using the full adhesive sheets. Okay. Oh, Andrea says she could use this grading tonight. Couldn't we all? Right? You just need some reassurance that things will be okay. Sometimes, you know, like when you're a kid, that's something that, you know, a parent would say, like, it'll be okay. Don't worry about it. It'll be okay. And sometimes as an adult, you need someone to say that to you, right? That's just how it works sometimes. You can see that that's stacked up just on one side. So now we're going to do the other half. Oh, just kidding. I have to remove the sticker part. Have I ever tried putting one layer of words behind the vellum? Yes, but actually I do more than one layer. When I do that, I like to stack the letters behind. It's almost like putting the vellum piece on foam adhesive. That's kind of the equivalent of that. And it makes it float up off the surface of your card. Oh no, it looks like I cut this when there was not, like it was on the edge of the cardstock, and so some of it does not have the adhesive on it. Oops. So I am going to put a little bit of glue just at the tail end down here, just a couple little dots, so that it adheres. There we go. Then we'll put this right on top. Okay. I can see where the glue is squidging out a little bit. That's okay. All right, so there's the grading. You can see how much dimension that has. Oh, I love that. I'm going to do a sub grading as well. Let's stamp that. I'm going to be using the Everything Will Be Okay stamps right here. I thought I would just do You Got This, or, well, any of these would really be good. Any of the smaller ones, like It Will Be Okay, You Are Stronger Than You Know, Sending Hugs, You Can Weather This Storm, Each Day is One Step Closer. I was going to do You Got This. Yeah, I think, or maybe just Sending Hugs. Maybe I'll just do Sending Hugs. We'll do Sending Hugs. I have some Midnight cardstock in here. Let me zoom out some more. There we go. And then we'll do Sending Hugs. And I'm going to use a die to cut this out, so I'm not all that concerned if this is straight on the cardstock. I'm going to use an anti-static powder tool. And then white pigment ink. All right, and I'm just going to barely let that stamp down. And I'm going to do it multiple times. Not pressing on the stamp too much, because if you do, it will really blob out on this very dainty grading. Then I'm doing white embossing powder. This is Alabaster from Brutus Monroe. And I'm going to tap it a bunch of different directions to try to make sure that the powder hits all those letters. Looks beautiful. And then I will hit this with my heat tool. And Jennifer McGuire says to heat from the bottom, and I think it works best too. So I'm going to do that. I'm just watching for when it melts. All right, I think that did it. I'm going to let this cool off. And then I'm going to use a microfiber cloth to pick up any of that white powder. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to clean up any of this anti-static powder, and a little bit of elbow grease, like a little bit of pressure with the microfiber towel cleans that up really easily. And then you have like a super nice embossed greeting. All right, I'm going to cut this out with one of the dies from my Essentials dies. This one right here. Just have it cut out that strip. Run this through. All right. So after I have this done, it will be time to do a Q&A. No, it's not completely dry. Some of it just transferred to my fingers, but it's looking really cool. Look at that. That was just like a particularly good stenciling. It turned out great. All right. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to hit this with my heat tool quite a bit to really get it dry. So I apologize in advance for sitting here and drying it over and over again forever. I apologize. But here we go. Actually, I'm going to do what I was doing when I dried it earlier. And basically, I used the shimmer paste to hold it up so that it had a little bit of airflow underneath. And that really helped it dry faster. Yeah, I think it might be really, really close to dry. It is still very flexible. All right, it's pretty hot. I'm going to let that just sit for a minute. How much do I want to take off the side here? Maybe like 1/2 inch off each edge. I think that's right. And I'm going to put some foam tape on the back of this piece here. Will I be at Simon Says Create? No, I won't be there this year. Concord at Ninth has a couple of people that man their table. So I won't need to be there. Okay, I'm just going to do one more right down the middle. No saggy middles for us. I feel better about that. Okay, and then let's see, because it's going to be right there. And then about like that. Oh, I kind of want it to go along with the angle. Hold on. Haha. There we go. Now it matches the angle. But I think I do want it to just be a little shorter. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. We'll just put it about right there. And then this, I'm going to use glue on the back. And I'm going to try to get the glue only behind the letters. But I want to keep it a little bit blobby because it might adhere over places where there isn't any of the paste. Drag it over a little bit right there. All right, I'm going to put paperweight on top. So here is the finished card. Lots of waiting time. I did speed that up a little bit with the heat tool, but overall, I think it turned out beautifully. The stencil set really lends itself to this layered paste look. I think it just looks really, really neat. I love how sometimes it looks like a bright blue, and then other times it looks a little bit more like a teal. Just, it's like a chameleon. Okay, let's look at this up close. It's just beautiful. I love it. And it has kind of like a plasticky feeling, like you just want to touch it. It's really, really cool. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. I'll be back later this week with another card video, an edited video for all of you. So I hope you'll come back and check it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.